Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast Thinking with T.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the Thinking with T podcast. My name is Tomi Adedeji. And with me on the show today, I have Yetunde Adekunle. She's an entrepreneur, she's a politician, and I know she's also involved in so many advocacy that she'll be talking about. She runs a business in Nigeria. She's based in Lagos, Nigeria. And so, Yetunde, welcome to
Nice
the
having
podcast.
nice having me on your show. Thank you very much.
Okay. And so just to start with, I know you're interested in you're in politics. Are you actively in a political party now, just to understand that bit?
Yeah, first of all, it's a complicated thing. When you said that I'm a politician, I don't actually feel comfortable using that word about myself. But
Okay.
I participate in leadership and governance of my political party. Currently, I'm the spokesperson for those new party that I emerged some years back. About the Nigerian Real Party. I'm the spokesperson for Lagos State. So,
Okay.
and the purpose of joining a political party is to set a positive example for my followers and fans, my mentees all around the world. Being one of the sphere of influence that I preach in my NGO. So, on getting there, somehow we just need to participate in their leadership program, and that is it. So, who knows in the future? I may not really be participating fully, but all we want is a change, um, to bring up a breed without greed, who are going to take over the
The
mantle of
governance of the
power.
country.
Yeah.
But do you see yourself running for office at some point?
Yeah, I said earlier that I may not. If elected for any diplomatic position, fine. Because the way politics has been played in our own clime is different from the way it has been played in a more how do I put it, in a more exposed clime, and everybody is trying to keep you ahead. I have my own career. I have many things in my hand. I have people that I'm building to change the world. I have my businesses. I have everything I'm still doing. Only that sometimes you are not comfortable with the way things are going, and that is why you have to step in some few
And
times.
just contribute your own bit to ensure that
Yes,
things
and then you
things go
move
the
on.
way they should. You mentioned your NGO. Can you talk a bit more on that, expatiate more on that?
Yeah, that's the World Changes Youth Initiative, and it's a group of youths from different areas of the society coming together with the sole aim of influencing their fellow youth into a positive lifestyle. This was a group I started while on campus many
Okay.
years back. Yeah, I started with few like minds, and what we do is orientation programs. We do seminar conferences. We have programs, boot camps, and all that. So left campus over 13 years, and we're still running it both in a conventional way and in a corporate way.
That's interesting. By the way, for the benefit of those listening, myself and Yetunde were in the same campus. Yeah, that's the Federal University of Technology, Akure. So yeah,
Yeah.
I know big people. I know very important people. So so one of the questions I pinned down that I was going to ask you was around your projections going into 2023, and you've already said that you don't see you don't see yourself active being
Yeah,
an
at a
active.
certain time. Yeah, at a certain point, I have to look back because it's not as if the people are really ready for this change. They are not.
You
When
mean
we came
people
out, when
as
my
in Nigerians?
Nigerians here, the
Okay.
Nigerians are not really ready for this new change. They practice traditional politics, money politics, and in as much as we want to deliver them from this mentality, it's like they are unprepared. They are used to the old way of doing things, but yet they clamor for a change without cleansing the process. They don't know that it's the process that brings about the system, and it's a system that controls the people and things.
Mm,
So
mm,
if we came out in 2019, I was rigorously campaigning for all our candidates across the country. These are technocrats that are very good in their own area of specialization. They don't have theoretical solutions to problems. They also have the practical solution to Nigerian problems in each sector, you know. And I think Dr. Pasha, who's an economist, came out for presidential candidate in Nigeria. He couldn't even garner up to 10,000 votes, you know. And then he was brilliantly engaged in all the medias, and in fact, some of his ideas on social media were stolen by the FG, and they were already putting them out on agriculture, palm oil, and all that. So these are the people that they have practical solutions to the problems. But Nigeria are not ready for it. We practice a two-party political system. Oh, it's either it is this party or that party. And then when the third force wasn't coming up, the third force became like 100 forces. And then the people were confused at the time. That's even on we forming the political party. That's a mistake on our side, because the third force should have, all the 100 parties or more than 100 parties that are formed should have come under a third and stronger force to compete with the whole political parties. So at the time I sat down like, okay, saying the way it is, some people come out to contest even for councillorship and they are assassinated. I know it is also done in other countries, but the way it is done in Nigeria is like, sometimes you'll be afraid, but we won't stop saying the truth. Like, on my social media pages, we put check and balances on every sector, and anyone that is handling that sector, we ensure we bring you out, we call you out for accountability. Because in my party, accountability is one of our slogan, our ethos, and is an ethic we practice. I don't know if I'm able to answer your question.
Yeah. And just to clarify that, just to chip in that as well, for the sake of those listening, Yetunde's Facebook page is Yetunde Adekunle. So if you're trying to connect with her, you can just
that's
search
my
for her
page.
on
Then
Facebook. She's very active on there, I know.
Okay, thank you very much for doing that. So that's my page. For my page is Yetunde Taiwo Adekunle. And then for my personal account, it's Abisola Taiwo Adekunle.
Okay. So anyone who wants to connect with you, listening, and wants to connect with you can easily do that there. Now, going back to the topic of I myself, during the last elections, that's the 2019 elections actually, I worked with one of the, well, not like actively worked, but I volunteered with one of the new candidates, Obi Ezekwesili actually. And seeing the kind of reception that somebody who is even much more known within the political space in Nigeria, and the reception she had, which wasn't very fantastic. Is there really any, do you think, or do you really believe there's any, let me say, any hope for new candidates, the smaller parties? Can they really do anything significant? Or we're just wasting our time?
I just explained that in my last comments. It's going to be a tug of war, because I told you that the people are already used to two political parties, and to have a third force, I already, answered that in my last explanation.
Okay.
To have a third force, it's going to be a tug of war. Like you said, Obi Ezekwesili, she's someone that is known in the educational sector, in the political sector, and then how do I call it now? She's one of the activists, social media activists that we have. And then, the reception is quite poor. Feladro Toye, a renowned motivational speaker, Mogalu, who was a former, is it the deputy CBN governor or what? These people, they came out. In fact, right now, Mogalu is no more in politics. He actually said it himself that he's no more doing anything politics. Now, he has gone to start doing something different. It's going to be very difficult to break through. Coming as a third force to take over, it will take a lot of work. And if it's possible, not as if it is not possible, but it's something that I should have started years back with a strategic plan to actually break forth and come into limelight in the political sector. It's something that the new breed without greed ought to have sat down together to plan ahead and start executing it right now. But as it is now, everyone is just on his own. Everyone is doing this, doing that. Like I even told you that I myself, I'm already fixing some other things. If we can all come together from a very, very close time, okay, I mean a very, very good time, have a good time to sit together and strategically plan for this, then it can happen. It's possible. And then if vote buying is reduced, in this part of the country, we practice money politics. If vote buying is reduced, or maybe if people don't vote for party and they vote for individual, sometimes, the way it is now is that most people vote for party. Oh, it is the winning party, let's vote for them.
Yeah.
And then at a time, they see that, okay, this candidate is good, but it's the party he belongs to or she belongs to is not well known, but the bill has not been passed yet or signed. So if money politics is reduced or vote buy is reduced, and maybe if we can vote for personalities as that party, it can work. But much more, we need to put in the needed work, strategic work to make this happen.
Interesting. I'll probably just move away from that now. Come back to yourself again as in terms of your entrepreneurship. Let me just ask, what inspired that? What has inspired you? I know you're into a lot of things which you probably share as we go on, but what has inspired you to go the way of entrepreneurship alongside, your activities within the political space?
Well, I've always been an entrepreneur, not as if something inspired me to. If you are
Okay.
talking about entrepreneurship on its own, that's what inspired me, fine. But
No, I mean in terms of some of the activities you're involved in currently. Currently, I see
okay,
super brands. Maybe you've had it before now, but I think
okay,
it's a lot more visible right now.
right now. All right. In 2016, I decided to be on my own. I'm an exporter actually. Maybe most people don't really know about because it's on social media, but it's kind of business that involves a lot of investments.
Okay.
So it's not something that you can put up on your social media and people will really come and invest in it if they don't have this social trust or whatever it is. So it is within the circle of people that understand the business. So Super Brand Dynasty International Limited has been a company in existence since 2016.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's like
Yes,
5 years ago now. Yeah.
yeah.
Or
So
four
it's
years
been
ago.
yeah. So we've been in existence since 2016. We're into international traders, exportation and importation. And really, what actually inspired me to start this company, I'm going to explain to you as we have said. But the other brand you are saying now are born out of Super Brand Dynasty. If you see Super Brand Foods, that one just came this year, probably
Okay, I
two
think
months
that's the
ago.
one that seems to be all over the place now.
It's 2 months ago. If you have seen Super Brand Dynasty Academy, that's a business and entrepreneurship academy. It's still from Super Brand Dynasty International. Then probably must have seen Super Brand store, fashion store. We have a fashion store where we sell
Okay.
fashion items. So all those four are under Super Brand Dynasty. And what actually inspired me was because of the situation of the country. We both went to the same university. All the rigors we go through on campus before we can even come out to call ourselves a graduate. Then you come out, you are not getting a befitting job, or something in you is crying more for what you are saying. Let me give you one secret. The secret is this: you are working for someone, you are putting on your efforts to get results for an organization, and
Yeah.
then something tells you that if you put same efforts on your own products, you can go further. Do you get the logic?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be working for them, and probably they are not appreciating what you are doing, or they are paying you less, or they are not giving you the moral support. So at the time, that wasn't even my case anyway, not 100% my case. The case was that I just got married and I needed a time for my family. I needed somewhere closer home. So on the search for a newer job, something came to me that I have always wanted to sell out and also to buy. I want to go into buying and sell. I want to become a successful business woman. The likes of people mentioned on Forbes and other greater,
Platforms.
magazines and all that, platforms and magazines. So I was like, okay, if this is my destination, then which route should I follow? Then I had found out that I have to learn. I have to start from the beginning, keeping aside what I might have studied in the university or other little courses that I might have done. So I decided to work with an international trade company as a marketer. Within 2 years, I was promoted as a head marketer. And we went to a technology university. We are purely science
Yeah.
students. We nothing like um, marketing or all those things. But these are skills you get on job if you are very serious and determined. So I was glad I was promoted as head marketer. And then at that time, when we're entering into the company on the day of our interview, I was being asked what my goal was in the next 5 years. And I categorically tell them that I see myself starting up my own um, export company, which is Super Bandanas International.
But how's the journey
Yes.
been so far in terms of, that journey? How's it been so far? What are some of the
Well,
challenges that you've had to deal with?
the journey. It's most parts were sweet, and sometimes some of the parts were not really sweet because this is a business that you need millions of naira to execute, to sell out to France, to Germany, and all that. It's more is the business that gives me most of the money, but it's not really open to people. That's okay. This is what she's doing. We export charcoal.
Okay.
And we train people on how to export it and also invest in it. At the beginning, you need a lot of money to secure contracts that will enable you to supply other companies in other countries like France, like Israel, like Romania, like Germany,
Oh,
other regions, and all that. So I needed to secure the funds, I needed to register my company, get export license, get FIRO certificate, register my get my tax ID, get
wow.
my international identity. So I
Oh,
started working on.
how did you do all of
So
that? I know all of those. The bureaucracy in Nigeria could sometimes be very interesting,
yeah,
to say the least.
so get an office in a very very sophisticated environment so that when your investors come in, they will not think you are running away with their money. So we are able to do that in within some months, like 3 months, 5 months, and then we kicked off. So from there, I started thinking that okay, super brand dynasty is going to be an household name. So we started expanding. Now this food, super brand foods came because of this pandemic. Everybody was locked home.
Mm.
No businesses were not working. No one was going to office. In fact, transporters that see money daily are not getting money daily. So the only constant thing that was selling was food.
Mm. Obviously, everybody has to
So
eat.
everybody has to eat. So I looked at it. When you have some idle fund, try it on some new businesses. So I
Wow.
sat down and I said, okay, we can how can I like to learn no matter what it is in business, profit is profit. I always tell people 2 naira is profit, 3 naira is profit. If you are not satisfied with the amount you are getting in an investment, then you should replan yourself. You
Yeah.
strategize yourself to increase more. But profit is profit. I'm happy. I'm always happy when I sell something to you, you buy, and I'm happier when I also satisfy you. Then I become the happiest person when I'm also making profit from it. So
Mm.
you need something. I'm selling what you need to you. You are satisfied. I'm getting paid, and I'm getting paid more. So that's just the idea of business. So I looked at it as okay. I spoke to my husband. I said, we are mobile. Why are we sitting down here? I try to look for solutions. Okay, some people they like to eat good food, and we also like to eat good food. We have access to people that can supply us good food. Why don't we extend this gesture to other people? Take for example, we started Super Brand Gary, which is an indigenous product. That's
Yeah.
Gary Ijebu. There are different garis out. Anyone that is white gari, they call it gari Ijebu. But the difference is clear. I'm an Ijebu girl, so I know the difference between Ijebu gari and white gari. You know, that's because I'm used to it. So I decided to say, okay, let's repackage it. Let's sort it out. What people don't know is that we sit down to sort this thing out. We ensure that any particle that is not gari is removed from the gari, and it's purely gari you are buying from us. We have the crayfish too, and then we just started the soya oil too. So probably before the end of the year, we'll add one more and then we'll focus on those four products. So it's
Okay.
events events and situations of the country made us to invent this product,
Wow.
to start packaging them. And then so far so good. It's been people have been patronizing us.
Patronizing.
In fact, yeah. So
Wow,
we tend
that's
now to
quite,
say, you
that's really impressive, I mean, so in a situation where many people would rather be complaining and saying you practically turned your lemon into lemonade, so to speak.
yeah, that's it. That's
That's
it.
really impressive. I'm really so you think about have you, I mean, it's a new thing obviously, but would you consider, you know, exporting that as well? Because I know that there are a lot of Nigerians who in other
Yes,
places who want
yes,
to eat
they are
Nigerian
part
food
of
and
our, yeah, they are part of our focus, and they were part of our invention. When we started up, we were thinking about the Africans, because as an exporter, I train people and I tell them that there are over 200 million markets yet to be explored for African foods. you know. So if I'm teaching you, then I should also explore that opportunity. There are a lot of Africans scattered abroad that always crave to take their indigenous food, or the traditional food sometimes,
yeah.
because you have to go extra mile to get them and all that. So we have had some people talk to us about being a distributor, especially in the UK, you know, and we are hoping for more. Though it's a new brand, but many people has been in talks with us. Even in Nigeria, I was so surprised. Our goods has made it down to Bauchi, Abuja, and in fact, some are
Wow.
going to Akure. Some are going to Akure next week. Ogun State, a lot of people like that. So we hope to really do better and do well.
Wow, really, really, I'm really so excited hearing this right now. I'm so excited for you and some of the great things you're doing there. Just to ask again, so if I'm a young person, I'm listening to you, a product of the Nigerian system or African system or whatever, I've graduated, I don't have a job, I've been looking, I'm thinking, you know what, this everything is just messed up. I mean, I'm frustrated, as in proper frustrated. What are you going to say to me?
So you say you're painting a scenario that you are a Nigerian product
I mean, I'm frustrated with the Nigerian system, given
system.
some of the obvious challenges we're all faced with as
Mm-hmm,
Nigerians. You
mm-hmm,
know,
mm-hmm.
what will you say to me?
Well, these days most people are insulting our busy motivational speakers, but no one can live without motivation, even if it's self-motivation. So
Mm,
what I would say is, you can be a product of a failed system, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you should be
a
a
failure.
failed a failed product yourself.
Okay,
Yeah,
brilliant.
you can be a product of a failed system. Doesn't really matter that those people who came from a broken home have to be broken all their life. Doesn't really matter.
Mm,
You might come from a broken home, but you might write the story and the history of your family life. So it's the same thing saying that you might be a product of a failed system, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you should be a failed product yourself. And what
yourself.
does it entail? Yeah, what does it entail? Self motivation and some external motivation for some people. You need to work on yourself. You know, you do not allow your background to throw your back on the ground.
Mm,
That is how to live life. Don't allow your background to throw your back on the ground. That you came from a humble home does not mean that you shouldn't pick yourself up and try to, gather yourself and move to the next destination. Now, Nigeria is what it is, and it's not changing anytime soon. Maybe gradually it's going to be changing. So you are the one to change. And maybe if you change, things will change. You are the one to say, oh, to encourage yourself and self motivate yourself. No, I'm not going to give up. Don't give up. Keep moving. You don't know which one you will do that you will get it right. You know, sometimes I told you about Superman Dynasty, and then we started fashion, we started food and all that. But you the only one that you know about is the food.
it's the food.
And
That's the one
because
I see. Come, I just says, oh wow, this nice packaging too, by the way.
So thank you very much. We've been getting compliments about our packaging, and that's what people have been saying too. You know, the packaging is not and all that. So you really have to sit down and say you want to be a failure. It has to do with self determination. So don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up. Nigeria is still going to be okay if we keep working towards the cleansing. But the most important thing is not to give up on yourself. Don't give up on
Mm.
yourself.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate having this conversation. To be honest, the way everything has been, we had to reschedule, and then we missed the time, and then when you came on, and then I was, but finally, I think it's been really, really worth it. Just trying to round off now.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to round off now, just ask this, and this is a bit more global in terms of its application. What's your thoughts on Black Lives Matter and some of the more recent events around, racism and what have you, and the story of Black people around the world, the experiences of Black people around the world, oppression and whatnot. What's your view on that?
Yeah, I must at this point say that it's pathetic. The situation the blacks are undergoing around the world, especially in the other side, you know, with the other set of people with a different color. It's it's a very very unpleasant situation, and it has to do first of all with the people. Really, I black lives really matters. We are all humans. We came from the same source. Only that our colors, languages, and tongue are different. So I don't see the reason why we should see ourselves as unequal. Most of those white people, they even give attention to animal than their co-humans just because they are of a different color. That kind of thinking is not an appropriate and balanced thinking. I don't know if you get me. So if we are giving attention much more to if an animal you see as a pet, like your dog or your cat, then this I don't see the reason why you see another human as less human as you are. The greatest law in the scripture. That's where I drink from. Permits me to quote the scripture.
Please go ahead.
Love. Yeah. So God, whose name is love. Even the God that created both of us, every one of us, his name is love. If you really say you know God, then you need to have love. You love yourself, then the Bible now commands that you will love your neighbor according to the way you love yourself. So if you are showing hatred to your co-human, it shows that number one, you do not know God. Number two, you do not love yourself. If you love yourself enough, then you will love your neighbor because that is the same measure of love you have been asked to transfer to your fellow human. Black lives matter because we are all humans. Right now I'm on Al Jazeera, I'm seeing all the protests and all that. Really, it's a saddened case. We need to come together as one and make the world a better place. The likes of Michael Jackson, all the greatest musicians of those time and our time, came together to sing that we are the world. We are the one to change the world. We are the one to make the world a better place. If we start killing ourselves because of our race or our color, then it's inappropriate. So that's what I think.
Thank you so much, Yetunde, for coming on. It's really been a very brief but very nice time so far. Talking through your experiences in politics and especially your experience as an entrepreneur and your journey so far with super brands. I really wish you all the very best, and maybe when you start exporting to the UK, uh, I will definitely patronize. I'll definitely be patronizing you. Do you just want to say one last thing? I mean, just in
Okay,
closing.
just to wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in all, I don't have much to say. All I have to say is that anything you find your hand doing, please do it well.
Do it
It's
well.
worth doing well. Just do it well because you don't know who might be watching you. See, the truth is that stop saying no one is seeing me, no one is seeing my effort. I've said that severally only to see that a lot of people are seeing my effort. A lot of people are seeing the little thing that I'm doing my own little way, in my own little corner. A lot of people are saying it. Someone
Yeah.
have like told me, I say one or two things, and I do not know. A lot of people.
I
I
mean,
was
obviously,
reached.
I saw you was why I asked to speak with you. You know.
Yeah. So a lot of people have been on newspaper, I've been on radio, been on TV, just because of little things that you think doesn't matter. Those things you are doing, do them well. Do them with all your mind and your efforts, and God will bless them. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Thinking with T. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or whichever platform you're listening on now, so you don't miss any of the exciting episodes coming up. Also, I'd like to hear your views as well, so do feel free to send me your voice notes or connect with me on Twitter. See you on the next episode. Bye.